there's no definition of love, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
It's far greater. And when you have
One of the reasons why that she was breaking up with me is because I was a Sunday Saint, Monday ain't.
I think that was the first song I wrote about her.
Oh snap, bro!
Yeah.
I had no. Dang. Okay. I don't know how else to say this. You're hoping that out of all the women in your life, the good ones are at church. Again, it's been a year. It's been a year since we had a conversation, and the note that you gave, or the comment that you gave in our last interview, is you specifically, because there's a song that you had coming out at the time called Gold, and you had specifically said the words of that you love, right? That you're a person of which who really passionately enjoys just love and what it all means and everything else. Now, you might know where I'm going with this. Before, as far as I remember, your love was through your music, but was not directly pointed towards anybody. However, if anybody's been keeping up with Jay and his social media, you got a boo.
Yeah.
So, so tell me, bro. Tell me. You obviously don't have to go, into huge detail, but what is it like for you to, again, as you had said before in our last interview, that for you to have a passion for love, a passion to make music of which that really does saturate itself in love, just sonically as well as lyrically, and you have a person of which in the physical that you can now represent the way that you feel inside and outward. How has that been for you, bro?
Man, it's been a journey.
Okay.
It's been a journey because like um up from Solid Gold. I think that was the first song I wrote about her.
Oh
Um
snap, bro!
yeah.
I had no. Dang. Okay.
Yeah, so I kept yeah. So at first, because we had a conversation and she was like, should I deep would you post me? I'm like, hold on, let it simmer, let us warm up, okay, and then we can get to the point where I
Yo,
start
the
posting.
posting is like trying to bring them to mom and dad. Like it's the 2023 of bringing them over your parents' house.
Oh my gosh. But yeah, it's been a beautiful thing. I've been learning so many things and understanding like there's no definition of love, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
It's far greater. And when you have your morals and your fundamentals that you both communicate to each other, man, it's I don't know what to say. I'm happy. I'm super happy. And that's all I can say. Like she's
Nah, that's
happy, I'm
good.
happy, and we're enjoying life and God is good. And yeah, y'all gonna start seeing more of her. So she wants to
Okay.
be out in the creative world. So
Nah, that's good, bro. That's cool. So, okay, man. So, as a young man, how do you date in a way that glorifies the Lord, man? Because it's something that is really hard
mhm.
at all ages, but definitely in younger, right? In the youthful desires and all that. Um, I don't know how any of your past relationships has ever been, your upbringing in that kind of sense or whatever. But what is it now that you are doing with her, along with her, that is different than anything you've ever done to glorify the Lord in all that you do in your relationship?
That's a good question. Um, I think Solid Gold really explains everything. The biggest thing was actually involving God. I'm not saying
Mm,
I'm
speak
perfect
that.
over here, guys. Just letting y'all know, I am not a perfect person. I'm a person that's growing and understanding what's needed. We have conversations, like important conversations. Um, you get tempted a lot, guys. I'm a person that's open. So, but the way we do things is like we text each other. Like, so we're more like long distance right now.
Okay.
So she's up in her place, and I'm located over here in VA, and we usually send messages for like from the Bible. We talk about certain topics when we're on the phone. We always keep God like first, and it has kept us together seriously. And like when
Yeah. Yeah.
when they say keeping God first really holds a relationship, it's like it's true because I didn't have that before
Yeah.
with the people I was with and who I was before. But I I would say that it has been a huge thing, and I feel like God communicates through relationships differently in every single relationship, in my opinion, because it's like the way people viewing the Bible. There
Yep.
are millions and millions of people on this earth, and millions of people that believe in Jesus, and millions of people that believe in the Bible. I mean, there are millions and millions different of like perspectives on like what the Bible is. I mean,
Yeah.
there are millions of conversations that we can have. So it's the same thing in our relationship. It's like, yes, we were in separate relationships before, and now we're together. We're learning how to cope with the loss and the things that we've done, but also how to gain the faith and the righteousness that comes from being a Christian and being like doing Christian dating and all that stuff. So
Mm.
it's beautiful.
Man,
Yeah.
that's good, bro. That's good to hear, man. I like that. So I was listening to the basement, and in one of the YouTube lives that they were having, somebody brought up the topic about relationships, and more so how in churches, they feel like if you are single, that you are basically a free laborer since you don't have a family, then you can stick around and help out more often, or you're not busy, so I'm going to have you at the church to doing more things or whatever the case may be. Or sometimes people feel like if you're single and you don't have any relationships that you're looking for, that you're almost forgotten when it comes to church because there's a lot of things that normally tends to point towards marriage stuff or just relationship stuff in general. So just to ask you, what is your experience as far as church is concerned when it comes to feeling either apart or have you ever had that feeling that like if you weren't actually in a relationship or looking for a relationship that you didn't feel like you were receiving anything from church?
Hmm. Hmm. I never thought about it in that way. When I was single.
I was thinking way back when.
Way back in 1962. Now, I was like, um, man,
Or did you have good experiences? Because I mean, honestly,
yeah, I
I
didn't.
didn't really have bad experiences, but some people have definitely voiced that they have.
Hmm,
They almost, especially if they're not looking for a relationship, and maybe more so women too. They feel like maybe some of the older generations in the church kind of look at them weird to be like, why aren't you in a relationship yet? Like you're 30 something and you're still not in a relationship. Like, are you seeking them out? That kind of conversation.
okay, yeah, okay. Now I'm understanding. So, yeah, well, personally for me, like, when I'm going to church, I'm only going there for one reason, and that's to get the word. I'm
Okay.
that's
Okay.
I was raised like that. But besides that, I mean, yeah, I wasn't even focused on relationships every time. I went to church, and there'll be girls there, and some guys would be like, "Oh my gosh, like," be like, "Yeah, that's cool. I'm here to get the word. I ain't here for all of that." We could talk
Boy,
about
you
that.
are a rare breed then, bro. You are a rare
Wow.
breed. Because there's a lot of people that I have come encounter. And now I'm not saying that this is why I started going to church or anything, but there have been a lot of people that have counted that some way, shape, or form. A lot of the reason why they got to know Christ or got into church or whatever was specifically because of a girl. Rather,
Their intentions of finding a date.
either potential of finding someone or um, just, I don't know how else to say this. You're hoping that out of
Oh.
all the women in your life, the good ones are at church. So you're hoping to find a good one versus looking at the club, which there's some truth to that,
Oh my gosh, man. That's
So
just yeah. No, that's true. And there is a saying about that I've heard. But yeah, I know dudes who, hey man, let me go to church with you. Why are you going to church? Oh, I'm here to hear Pastor. What's his name? Pastor Jennings. No, that's not his name. That's not his name. That's the deacon. He's the one that's sitting on on the side. But no, I think that, I mean, that it's cool. You're ready to get into a relationship, but don't allow that when you're going to church. Don't allow that to be your intentions, man, because that's a little. You're here to get the word, to understand it, to learn it, and shoot, even after church, asking questions.
yeah,
Like the church that I go to, what I'm saying, my pastor is always open to talk, right? So it's like those should be the reasons. Like, but I'm not trying to be, the guy that's blocking, from the man to getting the girl's number or whatever. There's nothing wrong with that.
yeah,
But
yeah,
that's crazy how things changed because of the dating scene and trying to find a wife or blaming a person that has not been, probably you don't know the full person. Yeah, he could be 30, but it's like
yeah,
probably dated before and just stopped for a little bit. You just don't know.
yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, for sure, for sure. Nisha said if you are not on your way to get married at 23 as a female in church, um, you definitely get that from the church. It's different for guys. So yeah, that's kind of what I was assuming is that women, um, as people of which who obviously continue the legacy, right, being able to have children and all, they they do get looked at differently, which I think is definitely unfair. But again, man, you are a very rare breed. Because okay, so my very brief testimony as to how I even really started digging into the word is so there was a girl I was dating her. Long story short, we were dating for a while, but we split up, and she gave me a note right back in the day when you actually were like writing notes.
Oh, that's
She
cute.
gave me a note, and in there at the bottom it said that in short, one of the reasons why that she was breaking up with me is because I was a Sunday saint, Monday ain't. Now, to give you some context, I just started going to church in the summer of 2000, right? Fall of 2000 to roughly winter, so like maybe 3 months ish. That was our dating period, right? This person had been a Christian, or at least involved with Jesus and church at some point, almost all her life, right? I'm in there as a 15-year-old boy, okay, going into high school. And where we live, the high school, my class alone, I think I graduated with like 700 or so. And then this is gigantic school, right?
Hmm.
So, um, talk about not really understanding what you're doing when you are dating an unequally yoked person, right? You're unequally yoked with them.
Oof.
Where her expectations were something of which that I wasn't, but then at the same time, I noticed you were able to bend in areas in which of ways that you're not supposed to, but since you're doing it, I'm like, oh, maybe like this is cool, right? So she tells me that in a note, and the person that I am, I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna prove you wrong. Not because I want to get back with you. Nah, forget you. You're lame. You're lame. You're a hypocrite as well. You were calling me out and didn't call yourself out. So
Mm.
I'm done with you. However, because I did start to really grow in what God's presence means to me, His Word meant to me, the community, right, worship. I'm like literally just I'm in it every single day almost, right, at church. Every other day there's something going on there, productions, whatever. So I'm there. So I'm like, what you're not gonna do is you're not gonna call me a hypocrite and act like I'm actually not about this.
Mm.
So I'm not gonna say the Lord used that, but the Lord did take that moment of where I was upset, hurt, whatever, and I dove in super hard. And I'm
Mm.
talking about read my Bible even more and everything else. All right. I wasn't perfect by any means and still not. But that relationship really, the breakup drew me closer to God because I was trying to prove a point, right?
Hmm.
To her. So that's what I mean by sometimes how, rather it's because somebody wants to get with somebody, or
Yeah.
sometimes they just want to show them, hey, I really do love Jesus. And I don't know. So,
I mean, how I started was on the dating app. Like my girlfriend and I met on the dating app. It's a Christian dating app.
Christian Mingle?
Nah,
Oh, okay,
it's
okay.
we actually the OGs. We didn't submit our testimonies, but we're one of the OGs from the app, and it turned into now a big. I think it's called Holy, guys. So for all the single, all the single people out there, I'm gonna do a paid sponsorship to this app. It's called Holy. So if you're out there looking for um, your shooting star, go out there and go go to Holy. It's good. It's right.
And
It's
this
right
stream
out.
has been brought to you unofficially by Holy, where you can find your shooting star
Yeah.
while seeking the sun. Okay.
Oh my gosh.
That's funny. That's funny. That's dope. Okay. I'm gonna take this quick comment and then we'll go ahead and get to Oxen Brand Spotlight of this evening. It says, but even if you think you at church for the girl, you're playing yourself because actually God brought you there and He works on you real quick. I have a homie used to hang with before Christ, and he came through to my church for that reason. But that Sunday sermon was specifically for him. He became a church boy. Just don't put God in a box. So yeah. So again, it is possible for God to use anything and everything
Yep.
to draw Him near to you or you to Him. So
Anything, literally.
yeah, that's
So
cool.
so we can't blame the people going to, because that could change their whole lives. Like I don't know.
Hey, my last comment on that is not to say that everybody at church is perfect, because again, nobody is, right?
No.
And not to say that if I'm gonna be 100% honest, right? I'm gonna put it blunt. I have experimented with things outside of Scripture with the females in church more than those of which who are not in church. Okay, that's a
Mm.
whole different conversation as to why it was okay or deemed okay or whatever, right?
Wow.
But with that being said, if you are a person of which who is hoping to find someone that has certain values that you could
Mhm.
start a family with,
Mm.
my hope is that you would see that somebody at church, and it may not be that church. Like maybe if you are a single person and you're wanting to look somebody and you're like, yo, but I got nobody here at church. Well, I'm not saying to move churches specifically for dating, but at the same time, I don't think it's unbiblical to put yourself in a different community where there may be potential there. Right, there may
Yep.
be potential where you're not having it there, if that is where you
If that,
are,
yeah.
right? So that's my thought. I think you still have a better chance at the church than you do outside the church. Can people be good without the church? Yes, but only to an extent. Because as I have a speaking engagement in February, and the topic that I'm talking about is relationships. And one of the things that I typically talk about and share about is that when I'm at the end of my rope of being able to love someone, to care for them, especially as a husband to my wife, when I feel like I have given all that I can and I don't want to give more, and my flesh is telling me, that's it, don't do the dishes, don't do this, like you don't feel appreciated, leave it alone. That is where my faith in God allows me to love more than my rope can extend to. Right? My rope can only go so far. Once I come to the end of it, God goes, I got you, and then extends
Mm.
that mug even
Mm.
longer for me to continue to be able to love on my
Amen.
wife in such a way. And it's the same rope and same love that allows me to do the same with other brothers and sisters that I disagree with, I can be upset with, but still go, you know what? But I'm still going to love you because of my relationship with Jesus. So
it's hard. It's a hard thing to do. Oh, I felt that. Yeah, I felt that.
hey, if you liked any of this content and you found some value in it, make sure that you like, subscribe, and of course, share it. Also, if you're interested in some more, go ahead and check out these videos. Till next time, grace and peace. Adios.